Hi friends, Coach Deb here. I am sure that if you've been on the internet, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere for any length of time, you will have come across the supposedly inspirational statement, start before you're ready. And I received an email with that subject line yesterday from a coach that I really admire, respect. He's a mentor of mine, and in some ways, I think the statement "start before you're ready" might have been clickbait in the subject line. Not that he does that all the time, but it's there, and it got me thinking because it really irked me and triggered something in me. Or I was responding to something, and I realized that statement that is intended to be motivational, that start before you're ready, is actually really discouraging for some people. So if you're anything like me, you are a recovering perfectionist, a hyperachiever, perhaps a former professional burnout artist, and there is something in that phrase or that statement to start before you're ready that can trigger all kinds of not good enough thoughts and feelings for me, and maybe it's the same for you. And so I was thinking about that advice, start before you're ready, and I thought it's really crap advice. Let's stop spewing that BS to each other, because there is something about being ready before you start. And I'm not saying that you have to wait till everything's perfect and all lined up, because that's like a perfectionism to the extreme, where you have to have everything in order and everything lined up before you can possibly begin. I'm not talking about that. But what I mean is, to start before you're ready means sometimes you have to make yourself ready. And that's the part I think is being left out with that statement. And so I am starting a podcast. I did our first recording last Friday. Super exciting. It'll be coming out in a month to 5 weeks, just depending on editing and guests and everything. But it took me a while to get to that place where I was ready to start it, partly because I had other things going on. So sometimes when you start before you're ready, you start too many things and you never finish anything. Sometimes when you start before you're ready, you don't actually start well. And so my advice would be to change that phrase to, instead of start before you're ready, to do something to get yourself ready. So in order for me to start my podcast, I had to sit down and write a description of the podcast, write a plan, map it out. What is the purpose of this podcast? Who is my audience? What do I want to achieve with it? What kind of topics do I want to talk about? And I couldn't start my podcast until I took the steps of getting myself ready to start it. So that's what I'm talking about when I say, let's be really cautious how we throw that phrase around, start before you're ready, and be aware of how you receive it, because I realized that it wasn't really working for me. And so whenever I get a little bit, out of sorts when I hear that phrase now of start before you're ready, I look at what is it that I want to start and how can I take an action that's actually going to help me be ready. Okay, so instead of starting before you're ready, take action to get yourself ready. Just a little baby step. All right, hope that's helpful. Make a wonderful, stellar day, and I will see you soon. Bye, lovelies.